You're watching VANS Gone Wild, a modified diecast racing invitational tournament. This is round 3 action coming at you from the new EDDY Raceway. I am your host, Lone Star. Welcome back to Live Young Diecast. Now, Group 3 toes the line between tame and wild. They swing in both directions massively. It is something to see. Now, before we meet these drivers, I need to... You're going to have to just forgive me right here, because this is Daddy G. He's driving Stripey, 74 grams, G4 diecast racing. That's a 78 inside story. He's the returning champion from 2021. And here's where you're gonna get me in trouble. Is Matt Foley's here? He's driving in a van down by the river. Okay, it's 102 grams. Grumpy Cloud Racing. I've been practicing that one for a while. Now, Bay City Daryl's here, driving an ambulance. Yeah, bring it, you did. Bay City Diecast Racing is in a Renault Master Ambulance at a whopping 109 grams. Last up is Dreddy driving Sauce Boss from Mini Mafia Motors. He's got 75 grams in the VWID Buzz, and we of course expect he charged that thing all the way up. It's race 1. Daddy G and Matt Foley in the back. Bay City Daryl up front. Dreddy takes pole position for race 1. We are off and away. Here we go into the Pennybacker Bridge. Dreddy will let Daddy G come in behind. And Bay City Daryl pushing on the valley. Can he get by? He won't. Daddy G sideways. Daryl not able to get by. Daddy G looking at the pass. He gets pushed off by Daryl, who takes the win. Dreddy in for second, and Matt Foley coming in for third. 0 fourth place points on lap 1. A sub 16 time. It's a slow time, but based on this kerfuffle at the finish line, what do you expect? Daddy G is turtle, so is that guy. Looks a lot like Bob Ross. Now here on the replay, Dreddy has to go into defense mode because the rest of the group is just really pushing behind, so much that they get sideways in one of the last turns. Now here, Dreddy tries the wedge maneuver, and then 109 grams of Bay City Daryl will put an end to Daddy G's lap 1 efforts. He will take the win. Dreddy for second, Matt Foley for third, and that is carnage. Man, Daddy G is lucky that Bay City Daryl brought an ambulance, because Bob Ross over there, as well as Daddy G, are gonna need a little help. Now Bay City Daryl with the lead after lap 1 makes a hell of a statement for weight in this tournament and on this track. It is a shovel when you need it, and he used it. Now race 2 has Bay City Daryl in the back along with Matt Foley, and it is Daddy G in pole position. Dreddy falls behind from the front outside and lets Matt Foley come through. They're into the final set of turns, and Daddy G is just gone. We can't catch him. He spins, takes the win. Matt Foley for second, Dreddy for third. Bay City Daryl takes fourth here on race number 2. We're gonna go right to this replay, and I really can't wait to show you this lap time because he did it in reverse. Now imagine what Daddy G could have put down on the clock had he not spun out here on the home stretch. It would have been pretty epic. We're gonna take a look at that time. We got Daddy G, Matt Foley, Dreddy, and Bay City Daryl, a 3-way tie for the lead with 5 points each. Daddy G joins the party with this win here on lap 2. He's got 4 points. That is a good start, and look at that time. He will join the EDDY Fast 4 list. Slots in at the last place. The rest of the spots owned by Flip, but it is a good spot to be. Says a lot about what that van can do. Now race 3 has Bay City Daryl, Dreddy in the back. It is Matt Foley in pole position. Daddy G is on the outside front. He will need to slot in ahead of Bay City Daryl here in the turn. He will. Leaves Bay City Daryl in third. They train through the Vista Valley and spread out. Matt Foley is now in reverse. Daddy G is pushing. Daryl almost goes over, and they will fall into that order. Matt Foley, Daddy G, Bay City Daryl for third, and we do not see Dreddy, the Sauce Boss from Mini Mafia Motors. Where you at, Dreddy? Where you at? There you are. Did you take out a cow? Ye did not take out a cow. All the cows are still standing, and that's a first. Usually a couple cows go down. Dreddy is respectful of the cows. Thanks, Dreddy. Now here on the replay, you're gonna see Matt Foley. We're gonna look for the spot where he goes reverse because he's got a nice lead here No one is pushing. Everyone with huge separation. That turn was so quick. I didn't even see it. He gets pushed by Daddy G. It ain't enough, even though the charge is pretty solid. And that is a 14.2246 for Matt Foley on lap 3. He will still hold the lead with 9. We got a pair of 7s to Bay City Darrell and Daddy G. Dreddy with 5, falling behind with that DNF. We're gonna go into race 4, and this is the end of the first rotation. Daddy G and Dreddy in the back. Bay City Darrell gets a shot at pole position. Matt Foley up front, who has been a force so far in these set of laps. He is going after it. He's gonna slide in right behind Darrell after challenging to take over first place. He'll push again on Darrell, pushing through the final set of turns. Darrell breaks away, goes over, gets back up, and Matt Foley whizzes by right at the line. Epic overtake at the line on Bay City Darrell. Matt Foley is loving this van down by the river. Or the pool, Deep Eddy pool. We'll take it. All right, there is Daddy G gone turtle right under the Red Line Derby sign. Unfortunate for his lap 4. We'll turn to the replay because these guys really start to separate right here in the valley. It's all about Matt Foley and Bay City Darrell and all that pressure on Darrell. So much so he gets over. He wants the win. He's got the speed, but he gets over, gets back up, gets on the rails, and that opens the door for Matt Foley to take this win in a commanding fashion. He really could have hit Darrell there, but he veers over to the side and just goes after the finish line. A smart move from Matt Foley, who sits in the back here for race 5. We've got Daddy G right next to him. It is Dreddy in pole position and Bay City Darrell on the outside front for race 5. We're starting a new rotation, and Dreddy, once again, just like the first, a real tight space between him and the rest of the group as they come out of the first set of turns. Everyone's getting turned around here. Dreddy's in reverse. He's got to hang on to this. He gets shoveled, puts on the defense, and I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get this win here. It's not a great time with a 15.6, but no matter what, he turns himself into a shovel and doesn't let anyone go by. It's great defensive actions here from Dreddy as he gets to the end of the course. He gets pushed by Daddy G and Darrell at the same time here in turn 4. We head into turn 5. He has to do that wedge maneuver again. Daddy G helps him go sideways. Who got second? I don't know. We're going to turn to the finish cam and check on this one. Dreddy for the win and Darrell for second. Daddy G for third. It'll be Matt Foley for 4th. Everyone coming through. And once again, Matt Foley, after 5 laps, will not let go of this lead. But Bay City Darrell is on his heels, 1 point behind. The other guys really need to step it up here. We got the leaders in the back, Matt Foley and Bay City Darrell for race 6. We got the guys following behind up front, Daddy G and Dreddy. This is a chance for them to put some big points on the board and not let those big boys go ahead of them at any point in the course. And I say big boys because they are heavy. And Daddy G and Dreddy went pretty light with their builds here. And Daddy G goes over. Matt Foley for the pass. He'll take another win. Darrell, just enough to get the points. Doesn't want to cause any more trouble. Just stopping short of passing the line and helping out Daddy G, who's on his lid once again. Here on the replay, Daddy G with a commanding lead. This is amazing. He's got the speed. We know he does. He always has. But he just can't keep it on 4 wheels. And Matt Foley, smart to go by on the outside. Darrell, just enough to take some points and stop and use his ambulance to help out Daddy G. Now, Dreddy just came to a stall, oversteers out of turn 4, and just can't keep going. So that's a DNF for Dreddy. Matt Foley hanging on to the lead. Darrell still on the heels, but Daddy G falling into 4th place. But he and Dreddy still have a chance to get through. It's going to mean major DNF carnage from Bay City Darrell and Matt Foley, but it is possible. This is Vans Gone Wild after all. It's race 7, and we got Matt Foley in pole position, Daddy G on the outside, and they're going to slide into that order. Bay City Darrell trailing, pushing on Daddy G. Dreddy falling behind. Matt Foley with a commanding lap here. Can he hang on? He will. Daddy G charges. Bay City Daryl comes in for third. A late charge from Dreddy, and they will all finish in that order for lap number 7. And we have another lap time to go on the Deep Eddy Fast 4 list. This time, Matt Foley, aka Grumpy Cloud. And he is just gonna up and shove Daddy G right off that list and take his spot by 2 1,000ths of a second. Both lap times very, very good. Now Matt Foley has a great run here on lap 7. He doesn't let anyone near him the whole way through. Daddy G with a great charge in the end, as well as Bay City Daryl, and a late charge for Dreddy for 1 point. This score right here, even though with 1 lap to go, this is going to put Bay City Daryl through and Matt Foley. So lap 8, a final lap. This is a fight for ego points for third place. Dreddy and Daddy G in the back. They both have 12. Who is going to come away with third and take those ego points home? All right, final lap. They're off into the Pennybacker Bridge. Daryl with a lead, but Matt Foley's challenging. He passes in the turn and gets ahead. Daryl is off, shoved by Daddy G. He's pissed. He wants some points, and he's gonna charge on Matt Foley. He won't get there, but it was really good. Dreddy in for third. Late again, but he's in. Man, Daddy G is definitely gonna take home the ego points, and Bay City Daryl, like a cat, lands on all 4 paws. A sub 15 time from Matt Foley, who takes home another win here, and he will do it from the outside front, overtaking Daryl, who then gets shoved by Daddy G in a fit of vengeance, looking for another chunk of points, those ego points. And what a charge he does right at the line, trying to get after Matt Foley just as close as he can. And that'll be it. Matt Foley, Bay City Daryl moving on to the semifinals, and Daddy G coming away with those ego points just by a thin margin, just 1 point. And that 1 point is all it takes. We say goodbye to Dreddy from Mini Mafia Motors and Daddy G from G4 Diecast Racing. A big congratulations to Matt Foley and Bay City Daryl. Got Grumpy Cloud and Bay City moving on to the semifinals in a van down by the river and an ambulance that brings out your dead. What are you gonna do? Thanks for watching Vans Gone Wild. We'll see you next week for round 4, and y'all remember to live young. Diecast.